Everybody, today I just wanted to share with you a starter build that I've been doing on the Necro that you can make out of the Codex of Power, or right as you hit level 50, so you can start clearing dungeons and whatnot, doing malignant tunnels and stuff like that. Because this build does work without any malignant hearts, the Barber obviously does make it better, and we are going to be running the Barber with this build, but you will be able to actually do stuff in order to get the Barber, right? It's not reliant on having the Barber by any means to do damage. Another cool thing about this build is we do not rely on critical strike chance, critical strike damage, or vulnerable, so you're not going to be stacking that. We are going purely all in on overpower damage, which is super cool because one thing that is very unique to the Blood Necro that other classes don't have, even like Druid for example that has overpower, is Necro has good multiplicative damage multipliers for overpower damage, which makes overpower pretty good to stack. And obviously it's not like Bone Spear, this isn't like some crazy S tier build, but it is a very, very viable build in the end game. And I think you'll have a lot of fun with it. Also, if you're really into a high APM playstyle, this build, you're going to have a lot of fun with this build, right? Because it's a single target build that's being turned AoE with the Barber, and you're just kind of throwing things everywhere, clicking things everywhere. So anyway, let's go ahead and hop on into it. So first off, we have Aspect of the Protector, then we have Aspect of Might, then we have Sacrificial Aspect, then we have Aspect of Disobedience. So defense, more defense, more defense. This is going to increase our sacrifice bonuses because we're going to be going, for example here, increase our max life by 12%. It's going to give us more on that sacrifice. It's going to give us more overpower damage because this is a multiplicative buff, so that's pretty big to get that increased. And then we're going to be getting a little bit of critical strike chance, just because, really, there isn't really anything, to be honest with you, there's not really anything better, and we don't really have a reason to run skirmishers because we're not going to be investing anything, so we might as well just run it. Okay, so that being said, moving right along, I'm using the Craven aspect. You can use something else. You can use a looting aspect if you want more access to Unstoppable or something like that. That would be totally fine. On the weapon, we're going to be going Gorequill's aspect. This is going to make your Blood Lances consume Blood Orbs. Now this is a seasonal Codex power, so this won't be here next season, but it is here right now, which is pretty sweet. So as long as you do your season journey, you should unlock this in your Codex of Power, or otherwise you will actually have to go ahead and just find this and get this dropped. But it's okay. You don't necessarily 100% have to have this, but this is a pretty big damage boost. So casting Blood Orbs is going to casting Blood Lance will consume your Blood Orbs to also conjure lances from them. Each additional Blood Lance is going to deal 40% of the normal damage, and it's going to prioritize unlanced enemies. Now, this was made to be used in tandem with the other Blood Lance legendary that does increase damage to your primary target per lanced enemy, but the thing about that is it's conditional, so I'm not really a fan of it, and it's not really that great on bosses either, because if the boss doesn't have ads and you can't lance a bunch of things, you kind of lose the damage. Not only that, if you kill the things, well then you're losing damage too. So it's just, I don't know, functionally speaking, I didn't really care for it, so I'm not really running it. I'm just going for this right here. Obviously we're going to be using the Barber. Now this one is one that I found that did drop. You do not have to have this in order to play this build, but this is a pretty big DPS increase, so definitely be on the lookout for this. You're going to want to put this on your necklace. Whenever your blood skills overpower, you gain 75% attack speed. If you don't have this, you can put something like, I don't know, maybe Band of Grasping Veins on there, or you could even put or you could actually just go ahead and use that other Blood Lance one and just throw it on your necklace just for the heck of it until you find this. But once you find this, this will be way better. But once you overpower something, which is going to happen very quickly because you get guaranteed overpowers, you're going to start throwing Blood Lances at the speed of light. Next up, we are going to be using the aspect of Potent Blood. So while at full life, Blood Orbs grant 10 to 20 essence, just going to give you essence regeneration. And then Band of Grasping Veins, gain 10% increased critical strike chance and 20% increased critical strike damage. Now, we do not stack critical strike damage, but there isn't really anything else that would be better to put here. So that's kind of the reason why I'm running it, is because it is a little bit of extra damage, so not too bad. After that, we are going to be going the Vicious Heart. This is going to make it to where when you walk near a corpse, it automatically activates an equipped corpse skill every second, dealing reduced damage, which doesn't matter. It's just a quality of life thing to make your corpse tendrils just auto cast for you, so you can make things vulnerable pretty easily. Alright, then we have the decrepit, I think it's called, I'm trying to think of what this one's called, I don't remember. It's like decrepit aura or something like that. So when at least 2 enemies are near you, you gain an aura that automatically curses surrounding enemies with decrepify. So you want this to be as low as possible to make sure it's always, because I think the max this can roll is like 5 or something like that. So you definitely want to make sure that you have this as low as possible at 2. That being said, this is going to auto cast our decrepify, which is then going to give us like some cooldown reduction. Really, it's also going to give them a chance to be stunned, and they're going to be slowed and deal 20% less damage, so it's also a damage reduction buff. It's just overall pretty solid. If you want to run something else for this one, you can. This is really just a quality of life thing, so you don't have to actually ever cast your corpse tendrils, but you know, you could use like the Brutal Heart of Revenge or something like that if you wanted just more damage reduction. But this is a really, really tanky build because we get to just stack max life and stuff like that. Not only that, we do have access to Fortify and whatnot, so you shouldn't really have a whole lot of problems living with this build. That should be your last issue, but yeah. Moving right along, obviously, so we have the critical strike chance from Skeletal Warriors, we have the overpowered damage from our Skeletal Mages, and then we have max life from our Golems. Moving on to the abilities, we have Hemorrhage, Enhanced Hemorrhage, Alkalites Hemorrhage, so gain additional attack speed while you're healthy. Then we're going to be going Blood Lance, Enhanced Blood Lance, Supernatural Blood Lance. So we need to take this over the attack speed and the essence cost reduction, because when we go into the Paragon and we take Bloodbath, your attacks that are guaranteed to overpower, that's kind of the key word there. If you don't have something that's making your Blood Lance guarantee overpower, then it's not going to get this damage multiplier. So we're going to have Rathmas Vigor, and then we're going to have just this really. It's going to give us that like guaranteed overpower effect. We're going to take Cued Flesh, then we're going to take Blood Mist, Enhanced Blood Mist, Ghastly Blood Mist, then we're going to take Decrepify, Enhanced Decrepify, Abhorrent Decrepify, and then we're going to take Amplified Damage. You deal more damage to cursed enemies, and because we have that aura, everything's going to pretty much always be cursed, so it's just another damage buff. Then we're going to take Gruesome Mending, Coalesced Blood. While healthy, your blood skills deal more damage. And then you have Tides of Blood. This is going to be another multiplicative damage bonus for your overpower damage, so it's going to get up to 45% while you're healthy. And then we have Drain Vitality. Hitting enemies with blood skills has a 30% chance to fortify you for 8% of your base life. Then we have Corpse Tendrils, Enhanced Corpse Tendrils, Plague Corpse Tendrils. Now, some people I saw put 4 ranks into Corpse Tendrils just to reduce the cooldown. I don't really find it super necessary to do that. I prefer to do this just to try to make sure that I'm fortified more, just to keep up the tankiness. Then we come down here, we're going to have Inspiring Leader, so while you've been healthy for at least 4 seconds, get 12% attack speed. Standalone, 18% damage reduction for having no minions. Memento Mori, sacrificing both Skeletal Warriors and Skeletal Mages, increases their sacrifice bonuses by 60%. Then we have Bone Storm, Prime Bone Storm, and Supreme Bone Storm. Now, the main reason why we use this is because we get a damage reduction bonus, and there is a dropped legendary that you can find that gives you a barrier whenever your Bone Storm hits something, so I highly recommend using that when you do find it. And then we're going to be going Rathmas Vigor. Increases your maximum life by 10% after being healthy for 12 seconds. Your next blood skill overpowers. When it comes to the Paragon's actually pretty straightforward. Because I'm such a low level, I'm going to have a link in the description to the whole entire Paragon tree, but the main thing is just really getting Bloodbath. That's going to most likely be like the only one we use. I was looking around, and I don't really see anything that looked too crazy. I mean, you have this one where Blood Orbs grant more damage, but it's only for 5 seconds, and I don't know, that just seems like it might be hard to keep up that bonus. I might be wrong about that, but it's mainly just going to be getting Bloodbath, and then maybe Scent of Death as well. I think Scent of Death would work out pretty good. So while at least 2 corpses are nearby, you gain 15% damage reduction. With no corpses nearby, you deal 15% increased damage. So not too bad. I think that one will be pretty good. But yeah, after that, it's mainly just going to be going around and getting as many glyph sockets as you can, and just trying to get as many glyphs as you can, as well as like beneficial rare nodes and stuff like that. So yeah, so I'll have a link in the description for that, because I still am going to have to go through and kind of fine tune it to what I want. But yeah, so with that being said, let's go ahead and hop on into some gameplay. Alrighty, let's hop on in. So quick thing I wanted to say, the only thing that you're going to need to find, so obviously like this is going to be a drop, but I mean really the only other drop is going to be the shielding bones, or like the shielding bone storm thing that gives you a barrier. So you really don't need a whole lot of like dropped legendaries. It's more, oh, what the heck am I doing? It's more of about just like levels, you know, right? So yeah, you can see just you have corpse tendrils and stuff going off every now and again. This ain't too bad. Oh, 55. So this isn't, I'm not pushing too high up, but there also isn't a reason to really go too high. But yeah, you can see it's just kind of blasting these things. And it's really nice too whenever it puts it right next to, or whenever the corpse tendrils goes off, groups everything up real nicely and real easily. So, pretty sweet. The only thing I can say is when you have like lower gear that doesn't have like resource cost reduction on it, which is really what you want, is that essence cost reduction. It you don't get as many casts as like you normally would. Because I mean, if you stack like a ton of it and you get this down to where like this 16 is like, I don't know, let's say like 8 or something. Oh man, you're really going to be blasting with it. Oh. You're going to see here. Yeah. You can see the attack speed goes up by like quite a bit too. Ooh, control, that's a good one. But it's once you get a guaranteed overpower. You can also see I'm staying pretty decently fortified as well, so running the damage reduction while fortified on your gear isn't too bad, but I'm not 100% certain you really need any of the other damage reductions. Like closer distance, I think going like armor and then max life is probably better for this. I think stacking max life is really good on this, on the blood builds. Okay. I don't want to finish this. I'll just keep on moving on. And I mean, if you really want to know how broken the build is, I was able to keep a single survivor alive on the last stand mission. Granted, I'm playing on World Tier 3, but, you know, hey, don't take that away from me, alright? Last stand. And the corpse tendrils is pretty nice too, because like when things group up like that, it makes like the last stand missions and stuff like that a little bit easier. Granted, it's not that big of a deal if you fail those, but it does feel good sometimes though when you just kind of magically get one. Holy crap, I am really messing with my muscle memory here. I keep switching my blood mist and my bone storm, because you really don't need to use blood mist unless yeah, you can see just one shot in these elites once the barber proc goes off. And the bossing on this, dude, the bossing is actually really good. Since you're like such a high DPS, you can just load, because I only have a 2-second barber on right now, so I'm not even getting as much damage amp as I like potentially could be getting. Okay. And tanky builds are always fun. So I'd say this build's pretty decent for Nightmare Dungeons, I think. Well, but I do think that you do need to get like some resource. I think resource cost reduction is like super necessary though on this. But it is nice not having to look for crit, vuln, so you don't have to get like triples or anything like that. Like you want max life, resource generation, overpower damage, and then I don't know. Like I think the last stat is really up to you. Cause I mean you could go lucky hit, but like what are you really trying to proc? The only thing you could proc with lucky hit I think is decrepify, but it's not like a big deal to for your decrepify to not go off or something like it's not like you're trying to reduce cooldowns by all that much. It's not super reliant on that. And bam. Man, I almost got a 2-for-1 special there. Yeah, but without the barber though, I mean, this build would be like way higher APM, I think. Too. Even then, it's like you just gotta kind of go, because it's just mainly a single target build. Okay. And then you can always like manually cast your decrepify too. Oh, here we go. Now it's gonna get feisty. And boom goes the dynamite. Come back here. Okay. Is there another? Dude, I found 2 of these already. Give me the lidless wall. That's what I want. So I'm going to be kind of working towards those. I want to try out like a bone storm build. I think that'd be pretty fun. See what I can do with that lidless wall. Okay. Yeah, even the when they hit, even like your basic skill overpowering does a decent amount of damage. Hey now. Oh. The bossing though, I can't wait to show you that. I really, once you get that like attack speed, if you can set it up real nice. Oh, it's nice. Oh, it's real nice. Vicious. Alright. Okay, just gonna do this. And, alright. Not too bad. I need to get my... Oh, there it is. Yeah. Not too bad. Definitely have a pretty high DPS. Wow, double audacity? Jeez. Really wants me to have audacity, doesn't it? But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. That's going to do it. Like, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.